Welcome to another exciting episode of the IsaacBoyz podcast. Dwayne the Ghost alongside Terrorizing. Coming at you guys with episode
96.
Episode 96. Good guess. Episode 96 of the podcast. We're slowly approaching episode 100.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to come up with ideas as far as what we're going to do for episode 100. Maybe we'll, do some kind of... We'll definitely celebrate for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do some kind of food challenge or something. Maybe eat 100 nuggets or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out, but definitely looking forward to celebrating that because...
it's not. I mean, I don't know how it's going to translate audio-wise, but...
Well, we probably won't do it on the podcast per se, but we could probably do like a vlog or something in celebration of the 100th episode kind of a thing.
Cool.
Something like that, because, just munching over the audio, I don't think people would appreciate that at all.
Quick mukbang.
Ugh, such a weird word. I hate to hear it for some reason.
I hate it too. My kids, they say it all the time. Apparently they were recording one the other day. I'm like, anyway, this generation,
Very different.
Yeah, my kids are definitely, I guess vlog worthy. They would if I told them let's do a vlog, they would be thrilled. They've been dying to do something like that for the longest while, but
We'll see. But outside of that, we definitely need to get our vlog back up and rolling.
Mm-hmm.
But this week's update, of course,
Mm-hmm.
things continue to roll here, like we always say.
Yep.
Been a good week. Starting to stabilize a little bit more.
Yeah.
But still, month wise, this is
It's our best month.
the best month we've had in a long, ever
Yeah.
since we've opened the lounge, which is good. It shows that we're going in the right direction. We do have we still plan to end the month with a bang, of course. Obviously,
Yep.
there's still 2 more birthday parties this weekend.
Parties coming up. Mm-hmm.
One Saturday, one Sunday. That's gonna be cool. And then we do have one booked for next month as well. So the party scene here continues to roll on. We did get a few new people in this week as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is always good because the new customers are like the lifeblood of the lounge. It could turn things around very rapidly. You can go from having an okay day to a great day with new customers.
Easily.
So.
Yeah. And
Excited about that.
I've been just like, I'm gonna go on one of my rants again. Just feeling very accomplished in what we've achieved, and it actually made me stop and think of like what our, when we first started the lounge, or actually even before the lounge, when we first started the podcast, how we were always trying to be that beacon for,
Nerd culture.
People. There's so many people, and just us having the lounge. Like I think we touched on it a few podcasts back. Us being that safe place for nerd culture, and it's like there's so many different types of people that come through these doors.
All walks of life.
Not just age wise, but just again occupation wise. For lack of a better term, we have. What people would consider like some street guys that would come in and play a game or come in and play Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I mean? People you wouldn't think would do these kind of things. You know what I mean? And older people that are, could be our parents kind of thing. Coming in to play Yu-Gi-Oh or coming in to play video games.
Yep.
And it just shows that it's us finally honing our craft and our niches. Like we're that safe haven for nerd culture because you can remember growing up, as kids or whatever, or going to high school. Everyone was kind of into nerd culture, but not really into. You're into nerd culture, as far as girls didn't know about it. You know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily the cool thing. So everybody kind of, did it off to the side when you're with your boys, but when you're around the girls or whatever, you kind of,
pretend like you're not.
You're not really into it. But I like that we stay true to ourselves. So much so that like for instance, like the shirt I'm wearing, it's an Avengers shirt. I wore the shirt all day today, and it's like just me walking today, like so many people was like congratulating, well, not congratulating, but like, oh, nice shirt, you know what I mean?
Complimenting you.
Complimenting me, that's the word I'm looking for. On my shirt, and it's like, and those people, I could see that they're like us, but but they're not wearing a shirt, you know what I mean? They're
hiding.
They're hiding, you know what I mean? For lack of a better, I mean they're at work and stuff like that too, but there was a guy that stopped me, and I was like, that told me that, and I wanted to stop him, but he seemed to be in a rush. But it just kind of made me think about that, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're definitely that. We're definitely that, And it's not a show that we put on. This is 100% us, and it's so much so that it's like what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. What is it you're looking for?
it's to the point where, like I said, it's not a show. It's like I have no problems being 100% who I am. You know what I mean?
Authenticity.
Yeah, or it's very authentic to who we are.
Yeah,
and we don't, we're not ashamed of it. We don't shy away from it. Like this,
we're not pretending to be something that we're not.
Exactly.
Or anything like that.
We're 100% who we are, and it just goes to show when in like I'm just so glad we found this, so that we can be ourselves. I think we touched on authenticity and being ourselves in a earlier podcast, but it's such a crucial thing to find that in life.
Yeah, your niche
in life to be one. So it just makes you 100% you, and you don't have to put on a show for anybody, or like it's like maybe like a few years ago, maybe I wouldn't have worn this shirt. You know what I mean? Unless I'm going to the movies or whatever, something like that. But like, it's just so comforting being in your own skin and not having to feel away like, there's this chick over there, she's attractive, and she's I'm wearing an Avengers shirt, I should feel shy away. These are things that people don't really talk about.
They don't verbalize that kind of stuff.
Like especially like people like us, or like our peers as well. People that are like, I guess you could quote unquote nerds. I would say. They don't really verbalize this stuff, or like or verbalize these things as being an issue. It's just stuff that doesn't get addressed or doesn't get talked about enough, I feel. Because even people that come to the lounge, 2 different people that I've known have come to the lounge have just in passing mentioned things to me about like relationship stuff. You know what I mean? Like one was talking to me about I guess maybe he's having trouble in the dating world or whatever, and he's just kind of bringing up I don't know if he's taking classes or some kind of things to help people with dating or whatever. Yes, because most of our as nerds, I guess, is kind of introverts. So he was bringing up something that I guess he's just something he said. It has nothing to do with this point, but it's something he said that I found interesting. Is like a lot of these dating apps or not really dating apps, but dating health classes or whatever. They tell you be yourself. But how did he say it? Like I shouldn't even bring it up because I can't remember the exact line, but
just
it was something along the lines
paraphrase
of, they want you to be yourself, but they still lay out the kind of things that you should do. But what if that's not you? You know what I mean? So he was at like a crossroads, like what do you guys really want me to do here? You know what I mean? So I say that to say, I personally feel that there's a lot of different things in nerd culture that doesn't get addressed or doesn't get touched on or doesn't get talked about enough. And maybe we're just that eventually things that we do will start shining a light on that kind of stuff. And some people may need help in certain areas, not just maybe dating, but mental health or the way they learn, or like neurodivergency and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different issues with nerd culture that a lot of people that are in nerd culture experience that maybe we can hopefully start to shine a light on. But I think I went off on a long tangent there for a bit. Continue into
but also this week We had some friends pass by as well.
Yeah.
Some good friends of ours. Some
Good
day one
personal-
supporters, if you will.
Yep.
Of course, talking about Uncle Chuck.
Uncle Chuck. Just give him a quick shout out. Him and the family. It was nice seeing them. Saw the girls today as well. Cute kids, beautiful family.
Yep.
Shout outs to them.
Big shout outs to them. They saw the lounge before we opened it,
Mm-hmm.
and now they got to see what it looks like.
In once it's
once
functioning.
up and going. And,
Yeah.
And then they liked it, of course. Everyone that comes there likes the space, so it's cool. Definitely, big shout outs to them. Also, did I mention my back issues? I think I did. A couple podcasts back.
Maybe.
At any rate, back still kind of messed up. Got it checked out by the doctor today, so hopefully sooner rather than later I'll. They did a bunch of X-rays and muscle scans and stuff today, so we'll see. And it actually showed I don't know, the muscle scan is it's kind of this weird machine thing that they put on your back. You could actually see when you put it, the part where where I'm experiencing pain, you can see there's some red lines. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh well, there's something going on there, and it's kind of an interesting thing. I never been to a chiropractor before, so this is all new to me. So, but yeah, I thought that was quite the interesting experience. So, but yeah, with that, I guess we'll roll straight into what's coming out this week.
This week is a very interesting week in games. Of course, there's a couple other games that nobody really cares about.
No, I wouldn't
But
say nobody.
into the big names, big titles going out this week. Ghostwire Tokyo
That comes out this week.
on the 24th.
Look at that.
So, very interesting game. Very cool looking game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into, it's like a horror action game, which is very it's in its own space, which is kind of cool, and it just has very cool visuals.
Launch party, maybe?
That could be a thing. Would require us to get the game.
What month? When's it coming out again, you say?
On the 24th. 24th is a...
That's a couple days from now.
Mhm.
That'd be this week if we did
Yep.
it.
Like either Thursday or Friday.
Maybe. What else?
We
What's
also
else
have
coming out?
Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
That finally comes out.
Also coming out on the 24th. And there's another game that's coming out on the 24th that we talked about doing a launch party for.
Is that the Kirby?
Kirby and the Forgotten Land comes out on March 24th.
24th is a big date.
Big date. A lot of big games dropping on the 24th.
It'd be nice to do a launch party on the weekend, but weekend's already booked up.
Weekends booked up with parties, which
Yeah.
is more of the lounge just doing what the lounge does.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to keeping the doors open.
But if people did want to come check out some of those games, they can still come and check them out.
Yeah.
Whether we do a launch party or not, you can still come
Mm-hmm.
check out
Request
that
the
game.
game and yeah. So yeah, those are the main titles that's coming out this week. Next week has another popular title.
I guess we'll get into that next week.
Next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. There was a couple of announcements this week as far as games are concerned. Some new
Mhm.
trailers dropped, some new updates to classic games, and of course some new characters and DLC for certain games. So, without any further ado, we'll just get straight into it. Pretty exciting stuff, actually.
Mhm.
Right across the board. First off, Street Fighter has the game has been around a while now.
Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5 has been around for a number of years now, but they're still finding a way to keep you interested.
Still staying relevant. I mean, of course, they did drop the trailer for Street Fighter 6, but while you're still playing 5,
Mm-hmm.
here's a nice little update.
Yeah.
The update consisted of a couple of things. They did well, for one, there's some new the tracksuits. They were giving you some more colors for the
Yeah,
tracksuits.
new colors for the tracksuits,
Just
which
for, is here. We're neither here nor there. If you like them,
Mhm.
it's cool. More importantly, it looks like they expanded, combo routes or options or whatever.
yeah,
So it looks like, things that you probably couldn't do combo wise is like they kind of allow it now. I guess it's like the final hurrah.
mm-hmm.
So it's like, have at it.
Yeah, having some crazy combos. I'm seeing combo videos now.
Yeah, they kind of opened it up. They kind of opened up the floodgates on that now. So it's, gives you a reason to jump back in and play. Yeah, it's interesting to see how this is going to affect the fighting game community moving forward, because a lot of people have been playing Street Fighter 5, every different version of it. Now, of course, with it being in the state that it is, who knows? It maybe people that fell off or maybe didn't win it or came close to winning tournaments. Now maybe they push them in the right direction, so that I wonder, because there was did it pass already? The one in Puerto Rico. I know Street Fighter. I wonder which version of Street Fighter 5 is what was available for the tournament, because I think that dropped maybe the day of or close to the day of the tournament. So I was wondering. Oh, that's a good question. But anyway, we didn't get to make it over there anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, they dropped some filters as well.
Some filters which
that are pretty cool.
Just kind of a new way to experience the game.
Right. So there's a cell shaded filter which makes the game look a little bit more 2D.
More 2D, more comic book esque.
It looks kind of arcane-esque.
Yes. I think that's, it
gives you that more kind of a oil painting feel. But looks good. It's interesting. It's changed the art style just a little bit.
Slightly.
And then there's a pixelated
filter, which
I see what they were trying to do there, but it doesn't quite
do it, but it's kind of I can dig it.
I dig it. I mean, it doesn't make it look pixelated per se, but it does give you that feel of an old arcade machine. That kind of a view, which is kind of cool. So that's cool that now that they're introducing filters to give you a different visual experience with the game. That's an interesting choice. Kudos for them on that. But like you said, it gives you a reason to pick back up the game again.
Dust off the game. I mean, there is people that played here. There is a group that they come to the lounge every now and again, but not that often. And they've been asking us to do a tournament, but we just haven't really been seeing the numbers to do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're probably excited about that. Hell, maybe give them a reason to pop in. Dust off Street Fighter 5.
There you go. It'd be cool.
I never got into Street Fighter 5 as much as I thought I would. Like, I remember when we first started Lounge, and that was one of the first games I downloaded. I'm like, man, I'm gonna sit down with this game and I'm gonna have a blast. But then Guilty Gear happened, so
that was that.
And that was the end of that.
Speaking of Guilty Gear.
New
character for Guilty Gear?
New character is coming out a few days.
Or dropping?
Dropping soon, actually.
New character for the game, but classic character coming back, per se.
Classic character coming back.
But in a new light.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for the most part, the character's kind of always been that way, but it's just...
They're leaning heavily...
In the current state of the world, I guess they're,
They're leaning heavy towards...
transition.
Or transitioning, rather. Of course, we're talking about Testament.
Character in Guilty Gear that, appearance-wise... Well, Testament has always been, I guess, for the most part, visualized as a male.
Yeah, like a male character, but...
He just kind of wears kind of somewhat feminine clothing in a sense. Like his outfit, not necessarily. He's kind of a Grim Reaper character, but he kind of wear like a long skirt kind of thing with a split, and it was kind of weird. But now the art style is, a little bit different now. So now
Testament's full-on female character.
Looks full-on female character.
Both a male voice.
In
the American
version.
Yeah.
The Japanese version has a female voice. It's even more
strange. It is what it is.
It is what it is, and that's fine. But what's more interesting is that they're now referring to Testament as they.
I guess when the character originally came out,
it wasn't acceptable.
These pronouns weren't available, or they weren't
acceptable,
or it wasn't that mainstream for people to talk about. But now it is. In the current state of the world, people are more accepting to these things, and these people that didn't have a voice before now has a voice. So now they're getting more representation.
Yes,
in video games.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to: representation.
So and it's cool. It's a good thing, it gives you something interesting. Now these people have someone to play, as you know. I mean, you can play with anyone you want, but
exactly.
now there's more representation.
Representation. That's what it comes down to.
And outside of just visually, how the character looks and talks and all that, gameplay wise, character looks pretty beastly.
Gameplay wise, looks, I don't know, might be kind of broken, but because like I'm like just looking at what like combos and stuff they were doing, and looking at, I kind of saw a breakdown of the character, not really a full breakdown of the character, but it was kind of talking about, because each character when you select them has like a ease of use kind of star rating, and it's pretty high. So I mean, it's a pretty easy to use character. And I was seeing some of the stuff they were doing. I'm like, if those combo routes are easy to do, then yeah, it might
be broken.
Might fall on that side of the broken. But on a whole, but looking at all the characters that's been coming out for Guilty Gear, they've always been unique and they've always been cool. Like they haven't released a bad character yet, in my opinion.
They all have their own different nuances and different things that make them
unique.
Yeah.
So I don't see Testament being any different. And at first glance, everyone's always, this character's broken, this character's broken. But they've done such a good job with all the other characters. Why wouldn't it continue? In my opinion. So
yeah.
Look out for Testament. Very interesting character design now, because now it has like a hat like Slash. The guitar player. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think Testament had a hat before, but
yeah, it's a Grim Reaper, but now it's a transitioning Grim Reaper. So
non-binary.
There you go. That's the term I was looking for. Non-binary.
Yep.
Representation.
Guilty Gear. I need to jump back on Guilty Gear. I still miss playing it.
There's just so much things to play right now.
There's too much games we're playing right now. Too many. There isn't, because there's so many things that's taking up our time right now.
There you go.
I'll say that.
True that. So true. Also, as far as releases, this or announcements rather, DNF Duel.
DNF Duel just
showcased another character, which this game, it's been hit or miss for me. This game.
When they released that beta, I didn't jump into it as much as I thought I would have.
Yeah.
First impressions, I didn't like it, so I was like, okay, that's it for me. But I'm kind of regretting that now. I'm like, I should have played more. But
I was thinking the same thing too.
There wasn't really a training mode. So like, you playing more is like you just testing against other people that are doing the same
which
thing.
was the biggest issue.
Which is my biggest issue. I would have liked to.
Yeah, it'd have been nice to sit down with the game and stuff like that.
So
yeah, I didn't even play I didn't play it at all actually. So, the game for me has kind of been, meh. We'll see how it goes, but
visually, it's undeniable.
It's so good. It's so good visually.
It's such an undeniably really good,
beautiful game.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Like, in comparison to Grand Blue, because Grand Blue is another game that's very similar to this, in that it's very easy. It's like easy mode. Like there's always like, you press a direction and a button to do special moves and stuff like that. It's an easy mode fighting game. The NF Duel seems to be going that same route, but Grand Blue to me, even though it is beautiful and it does have some of those big, crazy anime style supers, the just the core mechanic gameplay it's okay. But it's not great. You know what I mean? But DNF Duel just looks amazing in its core mechanics and in its super. It just looks mind-blowingly good.
Very stylish. All the way around, yep.
Each and every character just looks absurd. And this new character is no different. This new character is, I think it's called Ghostblade. So essentially it's like a samurai character. And I guess his ghost, his sword is haunted or is possessed by a ghost. And like when you're slashing, and like it comes out and he slashes too. So it's like getting hit by two people. It's visually, it's amazing. It just uber stylish.
Yeah, it made me want to look at the game again. I was like, oh, this character could be what I was looking for. So.
Exactly. And each character is just so different and so in their own right.
And they're made by the same people that make Guilty Gear.
Made by the same people that make Guilty Gear. So
they know what they're doing. They're keeping Guilty Gear as its core competitive fighting game, but then they're giving you all these other tastes of what could be like what they can do, but it's making it more accessible for
Other people.
other individuals that
People
are maybe not so
that big on the fighting game.
Yeah.
community. But speaking of which, Arc System Works is putting on a big fighting game tournament that will feature both Guilty Gear and the NF Duel, coming in June.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're and it's coming out around the same time that the game is coming out. So they're really trying to push this game as the next big fighting game, even though it's easy mode. But it's I wish I could go to it. I don't think they haven't released because it's like a worldwide tour they're doing.
Got you.
So I'm curious if it's gonna end up in Puerto Rico. Would be something interesting to check out.
It'd be cool to check out for sure.
He says it's a world tour, so should be interesting.
If not, maybe as close as Florida.
Yeah, definitely it's gonna be in Florida somewhere. Yeah, Arc System Works, man. They put out good fighting games. Visually, anyway,
Mhm.
I mean, Guilty Gear won fighting game of the year, so that tells you all you need to know.
100%. It looks like they're trying again with DNF, so
Mm-hmm.
good for them.
I really wish they made. I really wish they made a KOF game. Nothing would make me more happy as if DNF Duel. I mean, Arc System Works partnered with SNK and made a King of Fighters game. That game would be, I don't know, it would be mind-blowingly good, in my opinion. I mean, you can keep
it's the characters that we know.
it's the characters we know and love, and KOF has always had an anime style to it, but nobody does anime like Arc System Works. And the core mechanics could definitely be the same. That's fine. All that's fine. It's just when they're doing when you're doing the super moves and the climax moves.
Visually, they could
Visually, it could be.
They could really pop
up a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And opening cinematics and all that kind of stuff too would be great. But yeah,
could be cool. Would be a cool thing to see. Would it ever happen? Probably not, but would be nice.
one can dream.
One can dream. Rolling right into speaking of King of Fighters.
Speaking of King of Fighters,
they dropped their first DLC bundle this week. And of course, that first bundle consists of
the Garo team,
which is Rock Howard, B. Jeanette, and Gato. Which, getting to play them hands-on, they probably just dropped, well, at least 2 out of 3 of them. I can't speak for B. Jeanette.
I play with her. She's great too. I mean, visually, she looks amazing. We'll probably talk more about this off camera, but Bijane looks
great.
Well,
they probably just dropped the 3 best characters in the game, to be honest, because Rock is exactly what you expect Rock to be, and then some. He is so good.
He's so I can't stress enough. Rock Howard is what you want your fighting. He's like the face of what you want your fighting game character, like the main character to look like. He's
look like and act like.
He's everything you want in a main character fighting game. And he still is. He to me, in my opinion, he completely stole the show with King of Fighter 15. He's just super stylish, has a lot of options,
plenty of options,
and he does stupid damage.
And he can do install to do even more damage.
And he can do an install to do even more damage. He's the first person, I think. I'm not even sure. He might be the first person to have two different climax moves.
Yeah, his climax you could choose different endings.
Yes,
which is it's cool. It's such a good character.
Such a good character.
I can definitely see him being top tier for sure, and definitely being probably most picked now that he's out.
I mean, stylish wise, he anybody looking here for the first time and you're going, who should I main? And you stumble on Rock, it's over.
Such a great design that they didn't depart from, which is cool.
That's my favorite thing about it. They didn't change anything about his design because it's so perfect.
It's perfect.
There's no reason to change anything about Rock's design. I hope they never change Rock's design. Rock has looked the same since he's ever came out, and it's never been changed.
And it never should. It gives you that kind of classic Terry vibe. Like classic Terry, that design is never gonna go away. Regardless of how they do, the Garo style, the classic Terry is always gonna be there.
They're trying to nudge you with the Garo style, but classic Terry is always
exactly. Same thing with Rock. Rock is great. Gato is super powerful. Also a guy with options.
Guy with maybe too many options.
Way too many options and just power all around. He can do 100% combos with ease.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, obviously in like in a real game is really like to actually do 100% combo would require a lot of the stars to line up, but it is possible.
It is 100% possible, and even if you don't do a lot of, you can still get mondo damage.
Exactly. So like if you set him for your anchor, which is your last character in the three fighter set, and you a Gato with meter is a scary Gato.
It's a scary guy. So stylish, so much damage. He's great. Just practicing with him the other day was. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to get some matches and see how we actually do with him.
Yeah, I mean, KF has been up and down for me, and it's finding ways to keep bringing back it because like
keep you interested.
Before we came out, I was super hyped. Can't wait to get it. Finally came out. I started playing. I was like, okay, yeah, and it kind of died down a little bit for me. Mm-hmm. There's certain issues, but then I started getting back into it and I started liking it some more. And then they dropped the DLC and it just takes me all the way back up. And I'm like, yeah, this is, I definitely see myself playing it this week more often than I did last week.
Mm-hmm.
So
and not only that, but there's more characters on the way.
Just when you thought, okay, all right, DLC just dropped, everything's good, everything's in a good place.
They dropped a free DLC now.
Now they're dropping a free DLC that's coming out, I think on the 15th or it's in April sometime.
Yeah, I think it's early April if I'm not mistaken. And now we're talking. One of my favorite KOF characters of all time. This is Rugal, of course.
Omega Rugal.
You're getting... Not only are you getting a new character, we're also getting a new game mode.
Getting a new character, a new game mode, a new map.
A new map. And to me, they're pretty much just like, the boss... The boss for this game has been pretty lackluster.
The boss has been pretty lackluster.
So now they're like, let's throw in a real boss in the game, which... Kudos to them. Full applause for them, because the Rugal has always been that boss that's been super difficult, and they're paying homage to that with not only putting him in the game, but making this new mode that you have to fight Omega Rugal.
Taking his boss challenge mode or something like that.
Yeah, so now you're pretty much give you that nostalgic KOF 98
very difficult boss kind of thing, which is cool because not only you get the character to a new addition to the roster, but now you get a boss character to fight, and he is actually wearing a different costume in the. He's wearing his
boss mode.
He's wearing the costume he wears in 98 that he takes off before he fights, but I guess he keeps it on this time. It's kind of cool.
Very cool.
I hope they expand on this.
More bosses like
exactly like few months from now, add to the boss challenge when I can pick different bosses to fight. Chrysalid, Goenitz, Zero.
Orochi.
Keep it just keep it going. Just keep it going.
That'd be great.
It literally made me play the game.
Shatter all expectations, right?
That's what they continue to do.
They told us, but we didn't believe them.
Didn't quite believe them, but now they're doing it.
They're definitely doing it. I can't wait to play Rugal. See how he plays. There's a lot of genocide cutter in the future for sure.
Yep. And I mean, what surprised me the most about seeing him in move is like, it looks exactly like 98 Rugal. Like, the awkwardness of his feet when he does certain kicks, everything is exactly the same. Like to the T.
How did they get those silhouettes to be perfect? I don't know. But
it's like I don't get it. It's like exactly like how it looked in the 98 sprites, but just in 3D.
So good.
I didn't see him do a Kaiser wave though. He did do like I think
in
the trailer he didn't.
He didn't do.
He did like a jump like I think I know for his climax. I think he does it in his climax. He does a version of it from the air in the climax. But I didn't see like a grounded one. But it has to be in there because he has all the other moves. He has all the other moves. He has the dash through you move.
Genocide cutter, the one that you throws you against the wall. The skull comes up. It still does all of that. It's great.
It's great. It's awesome.
Mature and Vice, they're not in the game, are they? This would have been a perfect time to bring them in. They should have bring in a full team.
They should have bring in a full team. That'd been great.
Because that was the original, right?
Honestly, I think I remember sending this to you a while back. I thought that's what they would have done. Like, if they ever introduced Rugal, it would be like the three of them together. But now we got Rugal, we didn't get those two. So I wonder what that means.
Well, they didn't say. Maybe there's another. Maybe they'll
Drop it another trailer leading up to it. That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
That would be great. That would again shatter all expectations.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, the game is giving me a reason to turn it on like more and more. And now that we're getting that free DLC, on the other end of that free DLC is
another
the next
bundle?
DLC, the next bundle,
DLC bundle, yeah.
team, and that's Team Southtown, which is Geese, Yamazaki, and Billy Kane. My God, for a KOF fan, it doesn't get much better than that.
There's like, between me, you, and Wolfman, there's a character for each of us in that drop.
There's a character for each of us in that drop.
Because I'm a huge Yamazaki fan. I was one of my mains back in the day. Getting to play him again, that's gonna be great. Of course, you've been waiting for Geese, and of course, Wolfman's Billy Kane guy. So,
so that's like, it's like here, like just made perfectly for us.
Which this game is starting to feel that way.
It is, even though it's like, it's not the first thing when I jump on my Xbox. It's not the first thing I turn on, but it's definitely not getting deleted off my Xbox. I'm glad I bought it. We'll always find a reason to play it.
Yep. Can't wait for those new characters to drop. It's going to be exciting. Definitely exciting stuff there on the KOF front. Looking forward to that. Continuing on this fighting game themed podcast. So you notice all the news this week has all been fighting game stuff.
Didn't plan it, but it just happened that way.
Just happened that way. We got to see... Oh, we got an announcement, and then we actually got a full trailer of the new Tekken TV series.
Yeah.
That's coming to Netflix. It's going to be on Netflix, yeah.
Which I remember when we saw the announcement, we were like, oh.
Is it going to be live action? If it's live action, I'd have been like, Because they've tried a Tekken movie. Live action wasn't great.
It is terrible. I've watched it. It's terrible.
But it's not DBZ terrible, but it's pretty terrible.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, nothing is DBZ terrible. That's just...
DBZ movie was horrendous. But anyway.
It's Dead or Alive terrible. Isn't it?
Yeah. They're both equally as bad.
Yeah.
But this is an anime now.
This is an anime.
And it looks great.
It looks really good.
It looks like they're pretty serious about it too, because they're starting pretty early with a young Jin. And I can see them kind of going through his story and him getting trained to fight, and then I can see this building into like a more adult Jin and getting into the later stories.
One thing I did like the art style looked great, which it was like it made me feel good, but it also made me feel bad. It's like, why can't KOF has attempted doing an anime many times, different iterations, and they're all equally bad for the most part. They're not great, you know what I mean? They're not this good, you know what I mean? Like, man, KOF, this is the kind of attention that KOF needs. I know we just spoke about KOF, but getting back to Tekken. If you're a Tekken fan, this is definitely something to be hyped about. Art style is beautiful, and it gives you an opportunity to experience these characters in a different way.
In a different light. And there's a ton of characters to pick from. We did see a few of them in the trailer, of course. We did see, we saw Paul in there, which is interesting. They kept his hairstyle and everything. Sure. Who else was in there?
I think King was in there, right?
King was in there. What's Jin's granddad's name?
Hitachi? Yeah.
Hitachi, yeah. Hitachi. I think that's what it is.
Hayachi.
Hi, there you go. I know it didn't sound right.
Something didn't sound right.
Hayachi, there you go.
Hayachi.
He's in there. Same hairstyle, everything.
Same ridiculous hairstyle.
It's great. I can't wait to see some of our favorites like Law and some of those other guys. Steve.
Probably won't. They probably won't see Steve till much later though. But.
Yeah, we only got time. Hopefully this is a hit. Looks like the anime scene on a whole, globally, it just continues to grow.
Anime is getting so good.
Getting better and better. So, I like that they're doing a Tekken TV series. I do. I mean, Mortal Kombat went the American animation route, which has been
it's good,
really good.
I haven't seen the second one yet. Surprisingly, definitely watch that one.
I like that fighting games are venturing into that space now, so you're getting to see these characters in a different light, and you get to experience these stories in another medium that we enjoy. So it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see it. Moving right along, TV series that are coming up. Of course, the Halo TV series, which is coming up. Which I don't know. I have mixed emotions when it comes to this.
And we spoke about this.
Yeah, there have been a few reviews.
Early reviews
on this, and this is only on the first 2 episodes, of course. But they weren't good, which kind of concerns me a bit. Because huge Halo fan. I do want to see Halo, do well,
reclaim its glory,
which Infinite has the potential to do. I say potential because it's not quite there yet. But with this TV show, I wanted to see some live action Halo stuff going on, which you do get some of that, but just some of the reviews that I've been hearing, some of the stuff I'm hearing is like, for example, they're saying that the CGI is not that good. Which, on a show based on a video game
and a sci-fi show as well.
Sci-fi show, you gotta get that stuff right. So hopefully it was like an early build, but probably not. Hopefully it's not as bad as the.
Can't Sonic your way into this one being good, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully it was just the reviewer being critical, and that it's okay.
I hope so. Maybe it was a PlayStation fan. I don't know.
Only person doesn't play any video game, so
there you go.
So hopefully it's
But yeah, hearing that it doesn't sound good. We're all bad enough. A lot of people didn't really like the way Cortana looked, and still don't.
Yeah, the Cortana design is very Sonic-esque.
It's kind of. Why are you adding color to someone that never had color? Like, just make her all blue. And it doesn't it's so simple. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, nobody. Her design in terms of what she's wearing, all that stuff is like, okay, hit or miss. Okay, you can like
do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. Some people like it. Some people complain about it. Just make her blue. It's not that hard. Like, you're giving yourself for it by adding color. Just make her blue.
Just make her all blue. But
trying to be creative, trying to take creative liberties.
Things. Yeah, which is weird, right? Because Cortana is supposed to be the mind of Halsey, and she's supposed to have a younger Halsey look from the games, but in this she doesn't look anything like Halsey. Not even the same ethnicity.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
I don't know.
We'll see how it goes. And also, there's a rumor, which is not from the reviewer, but just from the rumor mill, that Chief is going to take his helmet off in this.
I heard that as well.
Which a lot of people aren't too excited about, but they did pay an actor, and I guess he wants he got to get that screen time. So
yeah, he wants his likeness
on there. So, which his voice is not too far off from Chief, but it's not quite Chief.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not quite there.
Because if they could have just paid anybody and just have the original voice actor do the voice, and it'd have been
I don't get it. Giving yourself work.
Yeah.
Giving yourself work. Pay a stuntman. Have him don the costume. Pay the voice actor.
He's done the voice. He knows this is the character. He's, he can do emotions and all that stuff. You need. But at any rate, some of the other bad review things I'm hearing is that it starts out with a lot of action, but then it dies off very quickly, and then there's like little to no action. And for an action shooter game to have no action, apparently they're focusing on the more political side, I guess, of that world and time where it's like, I don't know if they're trying to capture a different audience with this approach, but hopefully just a critic being critical.
We're still gonna watch it.
And that's another issue I have with it as well, is that you won't be able to binge it. So it's going to be dropping episodically. Which
fine.
it's fine if it's a good show.
Mm.
If it's not, you know, with all these other shows that are coming out, you have stiff competition in today's day and age.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, this could or should have been a show that Paramount used to grab all its
Grab some fans, grab some eyeballs.
grab some subscribers.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I don't think it's it. I hope I'm wrong, and I'm hoping it's just the first 2 episodes being what they were. I do want the show to get better, and I heard there was some other redesigns too as well that kind of goes into the spoiler stuff, so I won't even touch on it. But yeah, there's some not so good things in this. But outside of that, there's some Master Chief action, which is what we all want. But apparently we don't get too much of it, so there is that. What's a Halo show without Master Chief? Who knows? But we'll see. There are other Spartans though, and one thing this show does do it. If you're going into this expecting kind of the games, but told on the on the small screen, that's not what we're getting. Apparently, the story is going to deviate as well, and they're letting you know that up front. It's not going to be the same thing, which is one of the reasons why they, I guess, justified in changing Cortana. That the story is going to deviate. We're not going to get the traditional Master Chief and everything. Which this is kind of like a prequel, but eventually it's gonna flow into Combat Evolve and all those others. So
I'm guessing we're not doing a good job at selling this at all, huh?
we're just telling you what it is, bringing
right?
the news as the news comes. I mean, we're definitely gonna watch it. We're definitely gonna do our own review on it as well, at least as the episodes drop. But hopefully hopefully it's not Jupiter Ascending bad. Not Jupiter Ascending, Jupiter Legacy.
I know exactly what you're talking about when you said it, but yeah.
Yeah, Jupiter Legacy. That show was okay, but there were some things that hopefully I hope Halo doesn't
go that route. Yeah.
Because I finished it just to finish it, but I wasn't every week as an episode came out, I wasn't excited to watch it, to be honest, and I don't want that to happen with me and Halo, but we'll see. Hopefully it's good. I'm really hoping it's good. But one show that is getting some good reviews, getting a lot of praise,
Moon Knight. Well, good early reviews, because of course it's not out yet.
It's not quite out yet.
Yeah, a lot of critics are saying good things about Moon Knight. Also, they kind of showed the run times for all the episodes, and they're all going to be just about an hour long. It's not going to be most of the shows, the Marvel shows were like 40-something minutes.
Yeah, some are even shorter. But
these are going to be like 50 minutes.
Yeah, just about hour long episode, which is great.
It's good. The more screen time, yeah.
More screen time, the better. And from what they're saying, that this show, they're not shying away from the character at all. They're showing the character in all his glory. Which usually when they bring live action comic book characters to live action, they try to dumb down certain things, but apparently
make it a little more realistic.
Yeah. Now with Moon Knight, this is a full on.
They're just giving you Moon Knight
superhero experience. Down to his his power set, down to his glowing eyes,
his
even
look. Yeah.
Look, it's exactly what you'd expect Moon Knight to look like.
It's great, and of all characters too. Like they're always finding these obscure characters, these obscure Marvel characters, and just making them so mainstream. I mean, look at Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is mainstream now, right?
You know what I mean? Once upon a time, not a lot of people knew who that was. Everybody knows who that is now.
It's Black Panther.
Same thing. So yeah, Marvel's doing it right, man. Marvel's definitely doing it right. Can't say enough good things about what Marvel's doing. I know they just recently brought the Netflix shows over to Disney Plus, and some people were complaining. People just can't leave well enough alone.
Nope.
Because apparently, they're not, Disney Plus being, Disney, people expect it to be more family oriented, more, and there's a couple of things in those Netflix shows that are a little more on the adult side,
Especially Punisher.
Exactly. So, and people are saying, violent, it's not censored. And I was like, of course it's not going to be censored. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Choose what you do some parenting and make sure that if you don't want your kids to watch it, make sure they don't watch it.
That's it.
It is what it is.
Simple as that.
I did see that they did do a mishap actually. There was I think it's fixed now, so you probably won't be able to see it. But on on season 1, you know how they have like the picture, like when you go on the Disney Plus app and have the picture or whatever
Thumbnail, yeah.
Thumbnail, not of the episode, but the kind of the cover on top. Apparently, they for season 1 they put a picture of the Daredevil copycat in season 2 or 3. Remember the guy? They put a picture of him
instead of actual Daredevil.
Daredevil. Obviously, it's an oversight because whoever did it, just like, hey, this is Daredevil. Use this one. This one looks good.
Good job.
But it's fixed now. But I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, Daredevil show's been out, so there's no spoiler alert for that. There's a Daredevil, copycat at some point. So, but yeah, that's gonna be cool. Maybe I should go back and watch some of those shows.
I kind of I honestly thought about it because Jessica Jones, the first season was great.
It was great.
Sort of fell off after that, but it was really
Purple
good.
Man was.
You just did what
such a scary character.
What can you do against this? And they figured it out. But yeah, I definitely wanted to go check it out again. And it's cool that they're actually okay, this is part of the MCU now, which initially it was, but then they kind of maybe hold back on it, and now it is. But we're not even quite sure. They're not being very clear with it.
Yeah, and I it's confusing because I am hearing that
they're doing a Daredevil reboot.
Yes. So are they rebooting Daredevil, or are they just
continuing?
Or is it gonna be like a soft reboot? Like, I don't know, because they're using the same actor. So,
and they're already continuing with Fisk in Hawkeye, and that was the same Fisk. It was the same actor. I can't tell you if it was the same Fisk or not because it was kind of weird at some point to me.
He was strong. He was comic book strong.
He was comic book strong. So interesting to see the route. Hopefully, we get some definitive answers on some of this stuff. But it's over there now, so Marvel just got a whole new library of stuff added to it.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Marvel fan, that's for sure. Moving right along, we are gonna go straight into Fight Talk. Get into our Fight Talk. This past weekend was a bit of an early card, like we mentioned before.
Very early card, yeah.
So we didn't have the usual, watch party that we usually would for these things, but still did enjoy the fights nonetheless. This London card did not disappoint. There was a ton of great fights on this.
Yep.
And there was great fights all the way around. Even Dana White was
great performances.
Dana White was very pleased to the point that he gave out 9 bonuses, which is a record. 9 bonuses.
And he's like, we're definitely coming back to London this year. Like, we're gonna move some stuff around. We're coming back.
So that's interesting. But 9 bonuses. And honestly, I think this should be the meta moving forward. Once you get a finish, you should get a bonus.
Should be a finish bonus and not a performance bonus.
So that way it incentivizes people, and then people can't talk about fighter pay. Well, it would kind of hush that up a little bit. Because a guy, even though he's starting the UFC and he's only making what, 30 to show, kind of a thing.
Tack another 50 on there.
Tack another 50. If you get a nice finish, or fight of the night or whatever. So it's good. I like UFC. I like Dana White when he's happy like this, and he just spreads the money around.
Makes everybody happy.
And the fighters, like I said, did not disappoint. I'm gonna go quickly through this. Try to remember the fights as they happened.
The guy Mohamed Makaev. Apparently he broke his hand before that fight.
Interesting.
And he still showed up to
Still
Get a
managed
first round
to
submission.
get a first round submission. Now he's now 7-0.
Yeah, he said he was his UFC debut, and he would not be denied. He was like, even though he went into the fight with not a fully healed hand, So
You know who else did that? Well, not for their debut, but in a fight that they lost. Anthony Smith, fight against Glover Teixeira. Said he had 2 broken hands.
Jeez.
Because he 2 weeks before that fight, someone broke into his house.
Oh, I did hear something like that. Yeah.
And he beat the brakes off this person. Broke both his hands during it, but he was legit trying to kill this person. Openly admits it. That he was trying to kill this person. He was like, to the point, like he was pressing down on the person and like lifting his lower body off the floor, like dropping knees on this person's head. He was legit trying to crush his skull. Mind you, this is a 6'4", 250, 230 pound guy. Just dropping knees on your head. He said the guy was not reacting to him. It was a very, very interesting interview that I saw recently. But yeah, moving right along. Jack Shore also fought, got his decision win. Elise Reed as well against Corey McKenna. She got a decision win as well.
Split decision.
Paul Craig.
Yeah, Nikita Krillov versus Paul Craig.
Such a great fight because Krillov is such a tough guy. When we read through this last week, I didn't recognize him, but seeing him fight, I was like, oh, I remember Krillov. Like Krillov is no joke. Is no slouch. Went up against Paul Craig. I think he was the favorite. And rightfully so, because he was beating the brakes off of Paul Craig. Paul Craig was just taking some shots that put out most people. And while he was on his back, he took a couple shots that I think actually put him out. But one of the shots woke him back up. And he continued to, play the guard game, which if you ever get in Paul Craig's guard, just get out.
Get out. There's no reason to stay there.
Because he's too good there.
He's always winning fights that way. Like I think of his last fight like that.
He's won a few fights that way.
Yeah, or he's like in trouble and then he just
pulls out a submission. And he threw up that triangle
so fast,
so quickly, and it was perfect technique. He had the right angle on it and everything. It didn't take much of a squeeze, and you could tell Krillov was like, no, this is not happening like this. But he realized he could not go anywhere. This triangle had the perfect technique. He had the right angle, everything.
Honestly, it's been so long since I've seen somebody won via triangle. I thought it was like one of those techniques that were just kind of going away.
Everyone kind of trained it, so they kind of know to avoid it, but not Paul Craig. He threw up a perfect one. Perfect, like textbook, perfect triangle, if I do say so myself. Triangle being one of my favorite submissions. His was perfect. And he won. Even though he definitely got rocked in that fight. I don't know if he went out, but when he was on his back, he definitely looked like it could have been stopped. But he survived and threw up a triangle, so good for him. Who else we got?
Shamil Abdurakhimov.
Versus Sergey
Pavlovich.
That was a first round
TKO for Pavlovich. Abdurakhimov, I mean, he's been around for a while. He's been mainstay in heavyweight for a while, and Pavlovich just took him out of there in the first round.
There you go.
Didn't take much.
Did not at all. And then Mike Grundy versus Makwan Americani, which I kind of felt bad for Mike Grundy. Because he's having a tough week. His father just got, diagnosed with some kind of terminal disease. So he was dedicating this fight to his father and everything. And you know why he was coming out. He was a bit emotional. They actually showed his father in the crowd. His father was a bit emotional. So I was like, oh, man, he has to win this one. And Makwan said, nope. I'm getting you out here pretty early, sir.
Didn't even take him a full minute.
Got him out the first round. First minute of the fight. And I felt bad for him. And you could tell he did not, wasn't trying to go out. He was, to the point, just fell asleep. Had to tap or nap, man. He chose to nap because he would not tap, I guess, for his father, so. Felt bad for him.
Yeah, moral victories, I guess.
But, yeah. Makwan Americani, he looked good, looked sharp.
as
See,
Marconi
they
does.
had a few exchanges that went to the ground, and that was it. Kwan did not spend too much time. He said he wants to fight again. Early. He doesn't. UFC he'd fight next week if they want him to. Which fighters are saying now that's the way you that's the way you build your brand. That's the way you get paid.
Come up, yep.
So good for him. I like Americani. He's always. I mean, he's always been sharp, very dangerous. But he's had a couple of losses.
He's had his ups and downs. Yeah.
You can tell that there's something there. There's some star quality there. So hopefully. And then your boy fought Jay Herbert.
Yeah, Jay Herbert versus
Helio.
Taporia. And again, Jay Herbert, I was very high on this guy. And he came into this fight looking good as well.
Mm-hmm. He looked excellent in this fight.
Looked as sharp as I thought him to be.
Excellent, and Ilya just. I mean, they both actually. Jay Herbert was beating the brakes off of Ilya. Like that first round, he was really hurting him. To the point that it could have been stopped. Maybe there's one. Well, I wasn't. That could have been stopped, but he could have gotten him out of there if he had really pushed. I think he could have gotten him out of there.
Mm.
But Ilya just was showing his toughness, and they both threw a combination at the same time. But where Herbert threw like a 1, maybe 2 punch combination, Ilya threw a 3 combination, and that third one was on the chin.
And made him go limp.
Yep, put him right out, which was
motionless.
Violent KO. Definitely worth the money he got there. And he's a bit of an interesting character there, Ilya, because he got in a fight with Paddy earlier in the week.
You heard what the fight was about, I guess?
I did not.
Apparently, Paddy made some very ill-advised comments on. It was like back in. I forgot, it was a few years back or whatever. About, I guess, Georgia and Russia. I guess I don't know, Russia. I think it was Russian. I think it was invading Georgia or something like that. And by Georgia, I mean the country Georgia, not
not the United States.
Not the United States. And I guess Paddy made a comment about it, and like at first I was on Paddy's side for this whole fight, because it's Paddy. But then he was saying stuff he said, like Ilya was like, I remember children and women dying and stuff like that, for something he's making a joke of, So definitely not. So there's definitely some bad blood there, and they're both on the same card, and they both came up winners, which we're gonna go into a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
he called out Paddy. Which before this, Paddy was like, "This dude's probably not gonna win this fight because Herbert's a
it's a beast. He knows Jay Herbert was, and I was like, yeah, you're right, but
he made it through. So now
he made it through.
Paddy might have to fight him. It's gonna be interesting.
But anyway, before that happened, we have Molly Meatball McCann versus Luana Carolina. Who somebody to check on her. I don't know if she's still with us, but
man, that was probably the most brutal female knockout I've ever seen. And I've seen some bad female knockouts, There've been some rough ones, but this one was scary. Which was a good fight all the way around. Molly was, she was, in her home, around her countrymen. So she was just hyped from out of the gate.
Start to finish, yeah.
She came guns blazing when this fight started and was just unloading everything. To the point where she's probably going to lose this fight because she literally blew her gas tank in the first round. With no questions asked, she blew her gas tank in the first round. In the second round, Carolina I recognized that, started to turn on a little bit, and started to inch away with it. I was like, yep, this is what's going to happen. Because she blew her wad. But because she's in her, she's around her countrymen, she was like, not going to be denied. She started, coming back in the third, doing her thing, and ultimately caught Carolina with a spinning back elbow. That shut the lights all the way off.
Separated her from her consciousness.
Like her eyes rolled up in her head. She fell and she was out. Like she didn't, I never saw her come to. Even when they're announcing the winner and everything, she's still flat on her back. Like in the same position she fell when she landed. Has not moved. I was like, man. I'm surprised like the commentators, nobody was saying anything. So that's why I'm assuming she's okay. But it looked rough, especially because it's a woman too as well. It's a little uncomfortable seeing women take that kind of damage. But
Definitely.
It's what you sign up for, right? Good for her though. Molly's, 12-4, and she's on her way to becoming a star, and she's doing the right thing by aligning herself with Patty and her other countrymen and stuff like that. So, and she was super hyped. She jumped in the crowd, and there was a kid with a
replica belt.
That she just grabbed and started
parading with it,
parading around in the ring with it, which is it's hilarious. It's like hilarious. I hope that kid got his belt back.
I hope so too.
Because it's just threw it to like a security, so I don't know what happened to it after that, but
hopefully he got it back, and it's definitely worth something now.
Yeah, that was
that kid. You'd sell that belt. You can buy what you make off that belt. You can buy 10, 20 more replica belts. You sell that.
Yep. And then we had Gunnar Nelson, which I almost forgot about this fight when I was watching it. Gunnar Nelson
versus Takashi Sato.
Which Gunnar Nelson is the game is starting to evolve past him. I feel. I mean, he's good. He's sharp. He still has that karate style stance, and he can land when he needs to. But in this fight, look like he had a more grapple
approach.
Like, he wanted to take it to the ground and do work there, which he did. Like each round played out pretty much the exact same way. Start on the feet. He would like land some jabs and stuff like that, but he would punch to come in and then do like a collar tie up. And try to do work there, get you to the ground, and then body, do a body triangle, and then just try to get for the submission, but just mostly the landing punches and elbows. So definitely got the decision win there, so good for him. I would want to see more from him, but I against in the top 10, I think it's gonna be a rough go for Gunnar
for sure.
But he's one of the best grapplers in that division, so we'll see. And then, of course, the man of the hour, everyone's favorite fighter that night,
Paddy the Batty
Pimblett, was just hype again from
start to finish.
The crowd was definitely into it. He definitely has that star quality.
He does.
They're trying to compare him to Sugar, but I think
Sean O'Malley.
I think he's probably bigger.
Well,
I mean, Sugar has star power too. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like Paddy has more.
I think so too. It comes more natural to Paddy, whereas Sean O'Malley puts on.
Yeah, I can see that. Which, Paddy is definitely. If he continues to win the way he's winning, probably the next big star.
I mean, the thing is, his both fights, you haven't really
seen much
of his skill set per se. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
it's kind of hard to say because in both fights he did get hit.
He did get hurt both fights,
but he turned them around in both fights. The first fight was a knockout. Second one was submission. So we know he's comfortable no matter where the fight goes. So that's good.
At least he's got that going for him. Not everybody has that.
But yeah, the potential to be the next big star for the UFC. I say.
Yeah, he wants to fill up a stadium, and Dana White said that I forget who it was. Somebody, I don't know if it was Bob Arum. Somebody, at the event, turned to him. I was like, it's time for you guys to fill up a stadium. You can definitely do it with these guys. Yep.
And Dana White, he's not big on stadiums, but because he feels like the cage looks too small in a stadium. But over there in the UK, people are used to stadium shows, so.
Not only that, but stadium is good in theory, but you would need the level of security you need to do a stadium is unheard of, because it's just so many. It's just a lot of people.
So much people.
Something if something goes awry, and a riot breaks out, you can't have enough security. You don't have enough security to protect people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of logistical things with doing a stadium that people just don't really consider. Just the sheer numbers of people. And the logistics of how, because once you do a stadium, you're gonna have to do it in a way that if you need to get people out of there, you can get them out of there safely. So that you can't do the stadium where the ring is in the middle of the stadium. That's just a bad idea.
I mean, that's what it has to be because everyone has to see. So they'll figure it out.
It's a bad idea because if a riot breaks out and people rush the cage, there's not enough security. There's no way you can stop them.
Well, guns change that, you know. Once guns come up, people stop rushing. But we don't work for the UFC, so the logistics and how they security, it's up to them. But I think it would be cool to see a stadium show in the UFC. Kind of show, like, you know, the massive numbers that UFC can pull. I think they can definitely do it because, you know, boxing, you know, attempts to do it sometimes, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, soccer and stuff like that. So it's just going to be a ton of people on the floor level, though, if you do it.
Yeah, that's
It can be a ton of people on the floor level. I would like to see it, honestly, but we'll see.
for the achievement of it, I would, but
I mean, I wouldn't go to one. Definitely not. And then Arnold Allen, which is another, you know, people are saying he's another star, but I think it's more in say than actually. Yeah, I don't feel that star power for him.
He doesn't have star power. He's just winning.
Yeah, he's a great fighter. 18-1. Going up against Dan Hooker, which I was actually rooting for Dan Hooker in this one.
I was too.
Man has had such a rough go lately, and
He's gonna hang it up soon.
I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna hang it up soon, and I don't think the UFC's gonna let him go either. Just because he's just been there for them so many times, and he's gone through so much, and he's uprooted a lot of his life. It sucked to see them let him go. Like if they let him go, that would be rough.
That'd be rough.
But he's 21-12 now. But I think Dan Hooker still has more to offer.
He's a great fighter.
He's a great fighter.
He needs to go back to the way he used to fight. He's. I mean, I maybe he still fights that way, but he doesn't get an opportunity to show it. But I remember Dan Hooker used to throw some devastating hooks to the body and hurt people to the body, and like.
And he used to use his knees a lot.
Body, head, yeah. He used to beat you up.
Now he just like throws combination. He's like looking. He's
thinking too much.
And he's getting a hit. And the chin can't take it. So maybe he should take some time off and recover that chin a little bit. Because he's not just losing by decision. He's getting put out. So
Yeah.
that chin needs to recover.
Not a good look.
Nope. And then in your main event, you had Alexander Volkov versus Tom Aspinall, which I think you got another star there as well. Tom Aspinall continues to win.
Frank Mir 2.0.
There you go. He's a heavyweight, but he moves pretty good for heavyweight. Almost Cyril Gane-like, but maybe even better.
He's definitely more aggressive than Cyril Gane.
Yeah. And more confident. I mean, Cyril Gane is more of a counter fighter, but and he was there as well in the audience. So, and there were talks of maybe doing an interim title, and it might be Gane and Aspinall. I could definitely see that.
I can dig it.
And I know they're planning to go to France, so maybe that's a France fight.
100%. That'd be a great France fight. Perfect. Because you'll get a lot of UK guys just kind of fly over there. It's not that far for them. So that'd be great. Also, too, I know, getting back to the fight, Tom Aspinall submitted Alexander Volkov.
Yeah.
Aspinall is
just better everywhere.
Yeah. There's not really a whole lot to talk about in that fight. But he did call out Tuivasa.
Yes, which maybe that's your interim title fight?
It could be because Gane just had one.
So maybe.
If you want to get fresh faces in there. Because if you do that, Tom Aspinall versus Tuivasa, then that's two people that have not fought Francis and have not fought for a title. So it would be perfect. You're going to get a fresh matchup. If you do Gane and Aspinall, then you potentially have to run the risk of doing Gane and
Francis
again. You know, you want to see fresh faces in there. So
there you go.
That's how I would look at that.
But yeah, whatever they decide, can't wait to see it. Can't wait to bring it to you guys. But this weekend is another UFC. This one, not a big banger of a card, but there are some notable fighters on there.
Some noticeable. Just looking on here.
Quickly.
You have Fiorot, Manon Fiorot versus Jennifer Maia. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Jennifer Maia, of course, was a title contender, so let's see what she still got. You have, what else you got?
Sarah McMahon's fighting on there.
Carl Rosa. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Neil Magny versus Max Griffin. That's gonna be a great fight.
Fight of the night right there.
Very strong contender fight of the night for sure.
Then you have Mark DeCasey.
DeCasey is fighting there.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Ilir Latifi.
Your boy Latifi is on there as well.
Someone I met in real life, so that's always fun to see him.
Speaking of, Matt Brown's on there. Someone I met.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting Brian Barberino. That's gonna be a great fight.
So yeah, we're gonna be pretty much showing pictures of them when people come and watch you. So hey, I met this person in real life.
There you go. Got pictures to
like
prove
we
it.
do every time they fight.
Great co-main event with Joanne Wood. Drop the Calder.
Alexa Grasso.
This is Alexa Grasso. I like both ladies, but I can see Alexa Grasso running away with that one.
Yeah.
And then Curtis Blades versus Chris Dawkins in your main event. Depends on how Curtis Blades show up. I think Curtis Blades could want to run away with this one if he sticks to his wrestle heavy approach that he usually does. If he doesn't, I can see Dawkins knocking him out.
Yeah, I think Dawkins is gonna get this one. And that's 2 back-to-back heavyweight main events.
So yeah, they're building up the heavyweight.
The heavyweight division is looking pretty sharp. You know, for a while it was looking very stale and stagnant, but now there's a
lot of heavyweight contenders now.
A lot of heavyweight contenders, a lot of new people, a lot of new blood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see.
It's cool. Can't wait to see it. But on that note, think that just about does it for us here on the podcast. We do thank you guys for continuing to tune in. Be sure to leave a like, a comment. We're definitely trying to get our YouTube numbers up, so the more of that you do, the better. We do appreciate that. And share the podcast. People can listen wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. So continue to share our content. We'll continue to bring it to you guys. Continue to improve our product. Feel free to leave comments and critiques. We are always open to improving our product. So with that, you guys continue to be good to each other. Stay safe out there. IsaacBoyz out.
Peace.